know that I go flip mode when I bust the rhymes. Man's on a different thing, man, I told him 100 times. I did a bunch of crimes, and none of them were done for the vine. So you can take that bullshit and stick that where the sun don't shine. The summer's up, it's about to get real cold. Late nights in the studio with the bros.
Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. Guys, appreciate you tapping in. Before we get into it, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, do the duties, leave us a comment. You know the drill. Ernesto, who we got in the building today, bro?
Charlie on a Friday.
How yes, sir.
It's a Monday right now, no? What day is it?
No, it's not.
Thursday?
It's Wednesday.
I don't even know anymore. But we got Charlie on a Friday. What up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
We got you in Toronto here.
Yes.
Yeah, first time.
Welcome to the 6.
I know we talked a bit off cam, but what do you think of the city so far?
I like it.
You like it?
It's cool. I said it reminds me of Seattle a little bit.
It's giving you vibes?
Yeah. It's good
Downtown
vibes.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Welcome. I mean, like you said, you got a good day today.
Good.
So
yeah, it's sunny.
Brought some sunshine.
You just got some gifts too. We just saw you get some gifts.
Yeah, some plaques.
Yeah, what went down there?
What just happened?
After hours, gold.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Congrats, bro.
First time getting a plaque. Y'all witnessed it.
Is that the first one?
For real?
Yeah.
Stop.
I swear.
Come on, man.
Yo,
Yeah.
witness
We have to
history,
clip
eh?
that in. We got to get some
Thanks,
clips.
guys.
That was
For sure.
crazy.
Appreciate
Appreciate
that.
that.
Put that in.
Amazing.
So, you got an interesting story. I mean, we were doing some research on you, and you know, you're very young.
Yeah.
You're 20.
I just turned 20.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
You're making me feel old as fuck right now. You know what I mean? Like that's insane. Like I was looking at your past work, even though it's been a couple of years, but I think it's super interesting how you went viral very quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's happening a lot in music nowadays. So very interested to hear how that started.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned you were kind of playing around with music in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
So maybe take us back to the 8th grade and how you started to experience music and how you got into the whole space.
Yeah. So it was after football practice. I was in my buddy's basement. We were ripping Madden.
Nice.
And yeah.
Classic.
And his older brother had like a little studio room next door in their basement.
Cool.
And he was always making beats. I would always hear the walls shaking and shit and like what's going down in there. And I went in there one day and it was a whole studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. And I really
First time seeing like a studio or anything like that.
And I was just obsessed with it. And he was like making beats on FL Studio. And I just thought it was so interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
at that point, I guess at that point in your life, did you experience anything like that yet? Like was
No.
sports like that for you, or was there anything you're like, damn, like
I mean,
this
yeah, I
is
loved football. I played football since I was 5.
dope.
Okay.
Yeah, so football was like a big obsession of mine. I loved making like YouTube videos.
Sick.
Yeah.
YouTube videos?
Yeah.
At what age?
Like 6, 7.
For real?
Like,
What were you
really
doing?
young. Yeah, I was like, this is my Pokemon card. Just got this Charizard. It's lit. Like,
Okay, yeah.
So you were doing that before Gary Vee, pretty much.
I guess, yeah.
You were doing YouTube videos about Pokemon cards and shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I guess even just talking about YouTube, because we like to talk about social media and stuff like that, what made you want to get started on that? Were you like an outgoing person and you were like, yo, I'm kind of social, I like to talk in front of a camera, or what was it?
I don't know. I don't know why. It was like, it was back when, I don't know if YouTube still does this, but you could record videos on youtube.com.
Like directly?
Not anymore, yeah. But,
you can't do
but
that,
I know what
huh?
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and I was just using like the webcam on my dad's computer.
Sick, okay.
And like anything I could talk about, I was talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
it was
you
just
were
fun
like
for me.
comfortable in front of the camera at that age?
I think
like you were
so,
just doing
yeah.
it? That's,
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
insane, bro. I wish I started when I was 6
So
on YouTube.
So you kind of see your buddy. I want to go back to the quick. You see your buddy's like studio setup.
Yep.
And then how do you actually start messing around with it? Like what's the gateway into it?
I think I was literally just like, yo, can I try something on this? And it definitely wasn't fire at the time. But I think every day since then for like years, I made a song with him like every day. Like every day after football, I was like, yo, like, can we lock back in? Like, let's do it. And we just made like hundreds of songs.
True. So you knew right away. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I enjoy this. Like, this
Yeah,
is
and
real.
I think it was like I wanted to get better at it.
Cool. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more like a practice thing. But you kind of learn that from sports, right? That's like the
Absolutely.
similarities of like, okay, if I just keep doing this a million times,
Right.
I got to get better, right?
Yeah.
True.
So you were still doing football, you were still doing school, and now you had this newfound love for music, so you're trying
Yeah.
to fit that in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you stop playing football eventually and just say, you know what, I like music more, or?
I did not go play college ball. I stopped after high school.
High school.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I played up to my senior year though.
Okay,
Yeah.
right away, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess after you dove into it and you said, this is something I really like, I'm making a song a day right now,
Yeah.
did you start to look at the industry at all and say like, oh, like I see what this guy's doing, that kind of inspires me, or oh, I see what she did, she blew up doing that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, did you start to look at it more, I wouldn't say in 8th grade as a business, but more so like maybe your career?
Yeah, so like at the time, from Seattle, like Lil Mosey was blowing up at the time. And like we went to high schools like really close to each other. So like I felt like I kind of witnessed that a little bit in a way. Like I had like friends that knew him like and stuff like that. So witnessing that was crazy. And I think that definitely inspired me a little bit to start. But no, I wasn't looking at it super like a business perspective. I was kind of just like making songs for fun, putting them on SoundCloud, like showing my friends like, hey, yo, like I just made this. Like
I was going to say, are you showing people at this point? Like, are you actually putting the music out there? And like, is there any buzz at all with like?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like showing my friends like, yo, like I think I was like, yo, like let's just leave this on in class and like by the end of 5th period it should have like 500 views. And we were like, yeah, we hit 500 views.
Yo,
like,
marketing genius, already.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
And that's SoundCloud too. That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's like where everyone kind of gets their start, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Especially back then.
Yeah.
It was like a whole era.
And I guess because like you even said, going back to it, YouTube at such a young age, I mean, you probably already knew the importance of social media and putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So was there like, I guess from 8th grade now, did you take a little bit of a break after?
Yeah.
Until you started making music again?
Yeah, so my junior year, I think I stopped for a little bit and really focused on football and I don't know, just other things.
Was there a reason though? Like what was your mindset at?
Honestly, I think I was more worried about what people thought. To be honest with you,
like this guy thinks he's gonna make music or something.
It's hard being
while I'm in school and
it's hard being like in high school, like that's the kid that like makes music and like when shit's not popping, it's like hard to like be that
place
kid.
To be,
Yeah. So I think I fell into that a little bit, but then once the pandemic hit, that was really where it like clicked for me. Like this doesn't matter. Like these 1,000 kids in these hallways, like I didn't even know if I was ever gonna see them again. Like
True.
I was a junior in high school when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going back to school. Like,
this is it. Yeah.
That's super impressive because at that age, like I think that's the age where you care most about what people think about you.
Yeah.
So like that's super intriguing that you already had that mindset.
Yeah.
Like, was there a reason you had that mindset already? Like, did
about
you see
not caring?
About not caring about what people? Because it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Right. It's just easier to say, yeah, I don't care, but like deep down, something's hurting you, right?
Yeah.
So to put yourself in that position or that mindset at that age, like what do you think helped you get there?
Literally like the pandemic.
That's it.
So
You were just
straight
like,
up.
oh shit.
Yeah, like I was just in my room. I had like only a couple homies I was kicking it with, and like they were like, "Bro, it's fire! Like keep going!" Like, and I found a little microphone in the drawer in my room, and I was like, "This is like a sign. Like I need to like." So I literally plugged it in, and then that night that I plugged the microphone in for the first time in a while, I made a song called "Friday Night," and then that's when I was like, "Charlieonnafriday."
Okay.
Is that where it came?
I was gonna ask you the
literally-
name. Yeah.
Of course.
But the idea behind that is kind of what I was talking about. Like, it was like, damn, a month ago I was in high school worrying about what everyone thought. And now a month later, we have this thing called COVID that shut the world down. It's like, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So my mindset was like, when this ends and when I'm out of this, I'm not going to care what anybody thinks. And I'm going to like live every day like it's a Friday.
True.
And that's like kind of what Charlie.
So that was like your fresh start when the pandemic hit. pretty much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from that point, how consistent does it become? Like, how often are you releasing songs? And by that point, are you slowly building like some type of fan base? Like, walk us through that.
I started putting videos on TikTok. It was literally like, yo, my name's Charlieonnafriday. This is my song, blank. And then I would post those videos like 3 times a day. I was locked in my room just obsessing over making music, making songs. And yeah.
It just kind of slowly went from there.
Picked up a little bit. And then I put this song out called After Hours. We just got the plaque, low key.
Yes.
But, and then that was the first video that kind of blew up a little bit.
Okay.
And people were like, what is this song? And yeah, it kind of started from
like,
there.
who is this guy?
Yeah.
So you used TikTok a lot at the beginning, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. That was everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like at that time, like 2020, like if you used TikTok properly and just posted literally 3 videos a day, like you had a good chance of making some type of noise, right? Then it just became like, was the product good enough?
I mean, we even had a
Absolutely.
bunch of artists on, I mean, maybe midway pandemic near the end, and we were talking about it, and they're all just saying it's just like, maybe I don't like TikTok, but I have to get used to it. I have to use it, right?
I don't know.
Just-
I liked it. I had fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, right?
Yeah.
And I think even with the generation that you grew up with, you're more used to using it, right? And we talked to some guys maybe that are maybe close to 40 and 35 and stuff like that, and they're just like, yo, I have to adapt to it. I have to adapt. So you didn't really have that issue of like, oh, okay, I have to adapt to this sort of platform. You were already using it.
Yeah. And like freshman, sophomore year, like me and my friends would always post like funny videos like of us like doing backflips into like we were trying to go viral for like other reasons.
Yeah.
Like let's just see if we can.
Yeah.
So I was already familiar with it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy though to me, because like I'm 29 years old, so I grew up. I saw social media, I saw technology, and I also saw the other end of it, where we didn't have as much technology and it wasn't as easy to get there.
Yeah.
In any industry, to be honest. So maybe if you spoke to anyone who's older and had to do things differently in this industry, they'll tell you, yeah, they were fucking bringing their mixtapes around, going to parties, throwing them around at the DJs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier now for an artist to get their work out and eventually, let's say, blow up in some sort of way? Or do you think it might have been easier 10, 20 years ago?
I think it's easier now.
It's easier now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like one video can send everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think the struggle is doing it again.
Mm.
Like you do
Yes.
it once, and then like I think like a lot of artists can like do it once on TikTok. I think the struggle is doing it
Yes.
again and building a real fan base and a brand and getting past that one moment.
So let's talk about that one moment
Yeah.
then. I think
Yeah.
what was the first moment for you where you're like, this is big for me right now. These are numbers I've never seen. These are people reaching out that I've never talked to.
Right.
What was that moment like for you?
It was after hours,
Okay.
and we had a little buzz with the song initially, and then I did a show with my friend Xavier Weeks.
Okay.
He's also from Seattle, and we had a clip of me shouting out my mom at the show
Nice.
while I was singing the song,
Cool.
and that clip went super viral, and then that kind of sent the song like into like the Apple Music top 100, like iTunes top 100, and that's when it was like
That's legit.
the big moment.
Yeah.
yeah, because you're off TikTok. It came out of TikTok.
Yeah, I remember my homie Max is sitting over there, but we were sitting in like the Chick-fil-A parking lot,
Attaboy.
and we were like, yo, like it's charting, like what does this even mean?
Yeah.
And we were like, we're just gonna see what happens.
And from there, where do you take it? Like, do you kind of focus on still promoting that song more, or do you say, okay,
Yeah.
like let's try and do this again?
Yeah, so I think for like a good month or two, we did, at that point we were like, okay, we did one show, we got this clip, it went crazy, now let's just do more shows, get more clips, and see how many times we can do it. And we ran that up
It
for
was
a while.
also like a content play, trying to see as much
yeah.
content as you can get.
And did you have
Absolutely.
anybody like guiding you at this point, or is this just all you kind of just like trying to, you know, you and your homies trying to figure this out like on the go?
Yeah, I had my manager Jeff at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he's walking you through like, yo, maybe try this, try that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we were literally throwing shows like to get the clip.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that's the place, the content play. Like
Yeah.
it's what a lot of people miss out on.
absolutely.
That's
Interesting.
crazy. That's the new world we live in.
For real.
So, okay, so that's the first moment. And you mentioned a good point, actually, about viral moments on TikTok and artists that go viral, maybe from one song or just one clip. They miss out on, wow, okay, hold on. I've captured people's attention. Now I need to build this community. Not only build it, I got to maintain it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I've looked at some of your stuff, right? You got the merch going, right? You're very active on your socials. So
Yeah.
talk to us about how you game planned that. You were like, okay, now we got to build community. I got to make sure people continue to know about me.
Right. I think for us, it's like, I'm Charlie on a Friday, but on a Friday is like the lifestyle that we live. It's my friends. It's
Sick.
everybody. It's like the idea of like, you don't have much time here, don't waste it.
Mm.
And I think that especially with artists, it's important to have that thing that people can really like jump on with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do things like the vlogs where we
Yeah.
showcase all my friends, different personalities. We got my boy Max, my boy Ben. We got the merch. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's super important. I think that once people find that way to connect with you on a bigger level than just the music,
Absolutely.
you have like a fan for life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like obviously with the blow up sort of being through TikTok and all content related, like we see it on our stuff too. Like as much love as there is on TikTok, there is a
Yeah.
lot of hate on social
Absolutely.
media in
Just
general.
mad people. Just
I'm
sad
curious,
people.
like how do you handle that? We always like to ask different artists, entrepreneurs and stuff like, and everyone kind of seems to have a little bit of a different way of handling that. So I'm curious,
Yeah.
how do you handle obviously the love, but also the hate?
Yeah. I mean, I had kids in high school like talking shit.
Mm.
So
Facts, yeah.
I think for me, like things on a screen don't really bother me too much. I feel
True.
like. Yeah.
Because I know for us, like we have those moments where it could be like you have 1,000 good comments and there's that one bad
That
one
just pisses
and
you
you're
off.
like, bro, really? Like I was feeling so good, you know?
I feel you.
But that's why I feel like it's tough to come up in that in this way, in the sense of like anyone being able to have an opinion about what you do.
Absolutely.
You
You
know
just
what I
gotta
mean?
focus on the good, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, and with so much good with you, like,
Yeah,
hey
yeah.
man, run it up, and obviously you putting your friends on. Was that always kind of the idea, like, yo, if I can make this happen, like I got to put the
Yeah.
boys on
Sick.
too?
I mean, it's such a big part of everything. Like my homie Carter, he clicked record on After Hours. Like he was the one recording.
Crazy.
I was like in my closet, like, all right, yep, hit the red button. All right, stop, drag it back. Like he didn't know what was going on. But my friends have always played such a big part of this.
Yeah.
We're about to drop this song soon. It's called Same Friends.
Okay.
It's about basically like so much has changed, but like we're still with the same boys, like the same
Sick.
group.
Yes.
It's gonna be tight. But
Which-
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
sick, honestly, because usually what happens is the opposite.
Yeah.
Is like you'll get an inch of success, or you'll get a blow up moment, and then it's like you start to be successful and you start to lose grip with your hometown friends or your boys, right? So it's cool that you're doing that, to be honest.
Has there
Thank
been
you.
anybody that you've linked up with to date that like you're like, damn, I can't believe I'm in the room with this person?
Yeah, I think for me it was Macklemore.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure.
Right?
Like I was a kid in Seattle, like watching his complex sneaker shopping video,
Yes.
and I was like walking down the street to the sneaker store that they shot it in. It's called Recess. It's not there anymore. But I remember I was like picking up all the same shoes he did, being like, "Yo, he was touching this like 4 weeks ago. Like it's lit."
That's dope.
And I had the Wings poster in my room my whole life. Yeah, I mean Seattle Macklemore, like he's like the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So like being a kid from Seattle, I looked up to him a lot. So
What was that experience like, being in the room with him?
it was insane. I remember my homie Jordan was like, "Yo, come to LA this week. I'm gonna be there with Macklemore. Like, you might be able to meet him." So I like flew there on like a limb. Like, if I don't
Okay.
meet him, like shit. But like, and then
Yeah.
he texted me one day. He was like, "Yo, like, come pick me up for breakfast." So I like went to go pick him up, and he was staying with Macklemore. And I remember him like being like waving, like, "Yo, like, park the whip." And I parked, and I walked in the door, and Macklemore was just standing there in like a golf outfit. And I was
Crazy.
like, "Yo, like,
Like
this
a
is
dream.
insane."
Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
How's that relationship with him?
Happy Dad is available at a lot of your local bars and restaurants. You might even find it at some saloons. If you've enjoyed a Happy Dad, then you know it goes well with your burger, your wings, pizza, and steak. People in California eat it with their sushi, too. Go to happydad.com/find to find a bar or restaurant near you so you can watch the games with the boys while enjoying an ice-cold daddy drink. The ladies love it as well. If your bar doesn't carry Happy Dad, then ask them to call their distributor to stock up. You can't have a burger with that skinny can you? It's time to man up and drink Happy Dad. Happy New Year.
It's good.
Yeah.
He's definitely someone that gives me like a lot of advice on things.
Yeah.
We just put out a song together a
Yep.
week ago on his album. Yeah, dreams come true.
You went on
for
tour
real.
with him, right?
Huh?
You went on tour with him
I'm
as well?
going on tour
You're
with
going
him
on tour with
in a
him
month.
in a month.
In
okay.
Europe.
How
I
crazy.
was gonna say UK and Europe, right?
Yeah, it's gonna
Sick.
be tight.
Unreal. And from a creative music standpoint, how is he inside? In the studio? Was it different than anything you've ever like experienced?
Absolutely. I was staying with him for like a week in this place called Orcas Island.
Okay.
It's in Washington, and I remember like walking by the room he was in, and for like 4 hours just hearing him like spit the same verse over and over again, like writing it. And I was like, he's really like a perfectionist. Like he really
Yeah.
dials in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just trying to take those like little bits and pieces of
Absolutely.
what he does.
Or like when he records it, he's not recording it once, he's recording it like 50 times.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What are
Insane.
like now seeing like how someone like that is working? How has your creative process evolved? Let's say
Yeah.
since you started making music, even from just a couple of years ago. Like how has that evolved, and what have you taken from the people around you to kind of implement into your
For sure.
mindset?
I think when I was younger, I used to write a lot first, like write the lyrics. And I
Okay.
think now I more go in there and I kind of like mumble random words just to get like the melody
The
off.
sound, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I really like focus on that first.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So that's definitely a change. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even like in terms of your sound at the beginning, like how were you trying to find like yourself as an artist? You know, how,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of artists, they get in their heads too. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
like maybe I should sound a bit like this guy, or this girl
Mhm.
has that, and I should add that somehow. And they kind of drift away from who they really are. So
Mhm.
maybe talk about your sound a bit, how you found it, and maybe what you even compare your sound to.
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I was like rapping for real.
Like
Okay.
bars,
Like,
just
yeah,
bars.
Just straight bars? Yeah.
And then I think when I had that like second little stage, like after I stopped and started again, I was trying to do more like singing stuff and like more like melodic stuff. So it definitely evolved in that way. I don't know what I would compare my sound to. A lot of people say like Post Malone, Kid Laroi.
Yeah, I see Post Malone a lot too.
Don Toliver, some people say. I don't know. I'm just really making every
Those
time
are
I
all
go in there,
talented
I'm just
guys,
trying to
bro.
make what I like,
Yeah.
to be honest. And however that comes out, whatever people think that is, like,
Yeah.
Some
What?
people say country.
Really?
Yo,
Yeah.
listen, I heard a little bit of country in one of your tracks. I was like,
Yeah.
I could see it's the it wasn't the beat or anything. It was more your melody
Yeah.
and your voice.
I mean, I like country music. I'll be
But yo,
slapping that new Morgan
yeah.
Wallen out.
Multi-talented, bro.
Yo,
Fuck
shout
yeah.
out Morgan
Shit fire.
Wallen for real.
Yeah.
He's fire. I'm curious now. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about how your deal came about.
Yeah.
Like, so how was that connecting with the label? How did it happen? And what has it been like since? Like, walk us through that. Just like, was it an email? Was it a phone call? How did it all go down?
Yeah. I think so for like a year, like labels had been hitting me up a little bit. And I don't know, there's like a thing where like, you know, like when a college football player, like they're fire and like a college will like hit them up, but not be like, yo, like we're going to give you a scholarship, but like we see you.
Yes, yes.
It's kind of like that thing at first, I feel like, where they're like, yo, like we peep what you're doing, but like we're not going to like sign you right now.
They're paying hard to get.
Yeah. And then if you can get something going on your own, like after hours, then I feel like the tables turn a little bit and everyone wants you.
Okay.
And then, so after hours started going crazy. A bunch of labels hit me. I didn't want to sign at first. And then we were like, how big can we get after hours on our own before we sign? Just because it's better that way. But yeah, I talked to all the labels. Shout out Island Records.
Yep.
Yes.
I love y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that was the best home for me.
And how has that been working with them?
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a creative freedom aspect,
Yeah.
is everything like? I'm curious because I've heard horror stories, but I've heard amazing things. But it's been good.
Yeah. No, we still do like everything pretty much.
You're vibing sick.
Creatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay
yeah.
true.
Absolutely.
Always.
I mean,
And-
if you change, then like there's no really point, I feel like.
Yeah.
And your fans will notice. I feel like.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, and then now that happens. I'm sure that takes time to go through. I know there's a lot of legal and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
once that goes down, how does life change for you? Because I feel like then it's like fly to LA,
Yeah.
Washington, here, there, Dominican Republic you just came
Yeah.
from. So like life changes. It gets crazy, right?
For sure.
What has that been like for you from, I guess, I don't want to say being a normal person to all of a
Yeah.
sudden this like global celebrity, but yeah, how has that transition been?
It's been cool. We've been moving around a lot.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of shows. I think for me, it always goes back to that thing of like, I'm still with my same homies though.
True.
So it's like, we're on this journey together. We're doing this together. And I think if I was on my own, it would be really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, I think it's a cool idea, like showing my friends things that they might not have necessarily seen without this happening.
Yeah.
And I think that idea will always be really cool to me. Like I live in
Yeah.
a house in LA with like all my homies.
Dope.
That's sick.
Cloud
And-
House.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we just be kicking it. But yeah, things changed absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the flying around, even for us when we kind of started really going crazy with that, I just was like, damn, this is like, it's crazy. We're here in Arizona for 12 hours, then we're over here, we're over there. So life changes for sure. It's hard to keep up with people, but I guess like you said, yeah, like you got your people around you. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of like, do you fly with the whole team, or is
Yeah,
it like
the
every
whole-
time you got to pick a couple boys to come through?
Yeah, like right now we're on a little Sprinter van. We're on tour with this artist Jessie Murph.
Sick.
She's super fire. But yeah, it's usually all the guys.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's a vibe.
How about
Yeah,
even the shows and even the performances that you do? I see you're very active with shows. Like all your
Yeah.
content, half of it is about you on stage going nuts, fans going crazy. What's that experience been like for you, performing at that level now, even higher and higher?
Yeah.
Say we got a big tour coming up too for you.
Yep.
What's that like?
It's
Because obviously
awesome.
a big change for you too, right?
I think that for me, like you said, a lot of my content is show related.
Yeah.
I think success for an artist for me is like, and we can't do this yet, but hopefully one day this will be, but success for me is like, can you go on a tour? Can you sell it out? And can you do that forever? So I think for me, one thing I always want to drill in is like, we do shows.
Sick.
We're lit at our shows. And I don't want it to just be an online thing, especially in this TikTok era of music. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of artists are maybe only doing things online mostly. And we always want to bring it in person. Like if you pull up to our show, you're gonna see my homie Ben on stage.
That's
chugging a Bud
amazing.
Light.
Sick.
Like that's gonna
Yeah.
be a real thing.
Yeah.
But I like that you keep that, like you mentioned it, you hit it right on, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of artists now that they get comfortable. They're just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in my bedroom getting the same numbers,
Yeah.
making the same money. What do I got to
Yeah.
go out there for? But like you said, you mentioned it, and it's very important building that community, right? And people seeing you.
But I feel like you must have listened to some Drake interviews because you're saying the same shit as
What's
like
that?
we love Drake, obviously hometown hero,
Yeah.
and one thing he always talks about is like how long he's been doing it
Mhm.
and how long he stayed consistent.
Yeah.
And you're saying a lot of the same things, which I personally, outside of him, don't hear a lot of artists talk about.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
it's not like just one hit and then I'm on the internet. It's like you're talking about we're doing shows, we're here every time, you're gonna see us. And then how long can we keep
Well,
this going?
especially
Yeah.
because he blew up from the internet.
That's
So
what I'm saying. It's crazy.
It was even easier for you to just say, you know what, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
We'll just keep doing this.
What
Yeah.
gave you that mindset though? Was that like something you saw, or was it people in your team being like, "Yo, we need to be like there all the time"? And how far can we take this? How long can we make it happen?
Yeah, I just think, honestly, I've seen artists kind of have that one hit online, and then after that, it kind of fizzles a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think for me, I always want to keep this thing going, and I want to meet my fans. I want to shake their hand. I want to sign their shirt. I want to take pictures with them. Because we want this to last forever.
Yeah.
And I think building on a Friday up to what we want it to be, we have to go brick by brick, and we can't cut any corners.
So
Yeah.
is that the plan with the brand? Kind of like that it almost could live like on its own,
Yes.
even outside of you.
Absolutely.
Sick.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the goal.
It's a
Long-term play.
very mature mindset.
Thank you.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
cool.
But I
Crazy.
mean, you blowing up this fast at this age, like I'm sure it's actually forced you to mature faster,
Mhm.
right? Do you feel that?
Absolutely. Yeah, like
You ever feel like you're older than you are?
maybe a little. Like, I mean, you definitely like. I can't be out like partying every single night,
Facts.
going crazy. If I have like a show the next day, my voice is gonna sound like shit. Like,
Mm.
it hit a point where I had to like dial in,
Yeah.
and like, don't get me wrong, like we have fun.
Yeah.
course.
On a
But, like,
Friday, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
like yeah, we're lit, but like not all the time.
Yeah.
So
Pick your moments, type of thing.
yeah. Like in the DR, we were definitely
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't believe
have
you
to.
for that.
yeah.
A lot of younger creatives and artists watch this podcast, so I'm going to try and get them some advice from you. A lot of them are stuck in the process of, okay, well, I'm making a lot of music, I'm making a lot of content, but I'm not making money.
Mhm.
So what kind of advice would you give to someone younger that's in that position right now and saying, I don't know how to monetize, I'm not gonna, doesn't look like I'm gonna get signed anytime soon, but I love music, I'm putting a lot out, people do like it, just having trouble monetizing.
Yeah. And I don't even know if this is the right advice, but this is kind of what I feel is I would say don't even focus on the money, to be
Yeah.
honest. Just like have fun and try to do this the best you can, and the money will come.
Yeah.
I feel like.
That's
yeah.
what usually happens
Yeah.
to all of them, right? I feel like when they start focusing too much on the money, and that's for any industry, really.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Once you start worrying about, okay, when's this dollar coming? When's this dollar? I did this, now I need this dollar. You kind of suck the fun out of it, right? And I think that obviously you were blessed because it's not like you started making music when you were 28, 29, 30, right? You had time.
But I want
Yeah,
to go back
that's
quickly to what you mentioned before about the pressure of doing it once and doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your approach to kind of making sure that you weren't that one hit, like, and that you
Yeah.
guys could do it again?
I don't think we took the after hours moment far, but the whole time we weren't like, we were still thinking about what we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
And I feel like my next moment was enough.
Oh,
The please stop calling. Like that shit, yeah.
100%.
And I don't know, we were in the Jeep driving from Seattle to LA, and we found this song enough in my notes, and we were like, let's make a TikTok real quick and see what happens, and people became obsessed with the song.
That's
Come on.
crazy. bro.
It was just like that?
Yeah, I feel like the first TikTok we dropped of Enough went pretty crazy, right? Yeah.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
when
don't know.
everyone starts saying, drop the song, drop the track, drop
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And then you're like, all right, we're
and
good,
like,
guys.
We don't drop it for like a
We're
month.
good.
Yeah.
But,
Keep doing
yeah.
the TikToks, right?
yeah. Run up the pre-saves. But yeah, I don't know, just focusing on that next thing, I feel like.
How about in terms of the marketing? Because you seem to know a lot about what you're talking about when it comes to marketing your brand and your music.
Yeah.
So maybe some advice for someone listening out there that's having trouble on that side of things, thinking, you know what, like I don't know how to really put myself out there to that level.
I think just look at people that are doing it
Yeah.
and maybe not copy them exactly, but take things from them and make it your own. And I think it always just comes down to just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like every day, just keep going, and don't get worried if something's at like 300 views, 400 views, and like it's like that for a month. Because then once one gets 20 million views, like
Yeah.
it makes up for all the
Yeah.
misses. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Um,
What's that saying? It takes 5,000 nights for an overnight success.
Yeah. Or like some people say,
Crazy.
like Kobe's one of the best basketball player. Like he also has the most missed shots.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a
Damn.
stat, right? That's
Yeah.
a real stat.
Is that
It's a real stat. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
See, not LeBron though.
Easy.
Listen, I'm
Easy.
chilling.
We're not going there.
We're
But
not gonna go there right now.
no, that's insane. I mean, I want to know. At this point, do you have any mentors? Like, is there anybody that you go to for specific advice? Anyone that kind of, keeps you grounded, lets you know sort of like which way to go, left or right type of thing?
I would say my manager Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Oh, so have you been with Jeff the whole time, top to bottom?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Jeff. I don't know.
Jeff, bro.
I don't know
Yeah.
if he's here with you, but
Yeah.
that's crazy. Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. Because I feel like, and being a little bit younger, like it's also. It helps. It helps to have somebody that you could just be like, yo, like, what do you think the next play is? Or I'm stuck here. Like, what's the next move? Would
For
you
sure.
recommend anybody in your age trying to come up the same way you did, like find yourself sort of a mentor?
Yeah. Always
Mhm.
talk to as many people as you can, I feel like.
Yeah.
And just kind of pick people's brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even at sorry, just jumping off
Yeah.
that, even at this age, having that success, like how have you been able to stay humble too and stay grounded? Because
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of early success for a lot of people, and it actually harms them instead
Yeah.
of does better, right? Like, so how have you been able to channel that and say, you know what, like I'm still me? Because you're very humble, man. Like the way you're talking about your friends
you.
and everything you've done. How did you not let it get to your head
Mm-hmm.
at this point?
I think my friends play a big part of it. Like
Cool.
my homie Ben definitely still treats me the exact same as he
Good.
did
You
in high
need that.
school.
You need that.
He'll still like be like, yo, like you suck ass at basketball. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like he'll still give me shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. And I don't know. I just don't really want to change,
Mm.
to be honest. And I think it's like being aware of that
Yeah.
and being like, just stay the same person.
Which it must be hard to do. You're going to shows, people
Mm-hmm.
screaming your name, they want your autograph. This, and you leave. You're like, damn, like I'm the fucking man. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of the man out here, right? So it's impressive that you've been able to stay humble like that.
Do you ever pull up like hometown just like to check people type of thing? Like,
Oh, what do you mean?
like you just, I don't know, just like pull up on your hometown, just like move
That's
around
another
there.
thing, like making sure I go back to Seattle
Yeah.
frequently.
Okay.
Go like walk around my high school maybe.
That's
vibe
dope.
out. Yeah,
Oh,
just like
shit,
stay
okay.
grounded with your roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like that. I always found that like going back to where things started is
Mhm.
always kind of the best way to like remember who you are
For sure.
in moments of like success and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stay
Absolutely.
super grounded that way.
Mhm.
Is there any? This is completely off topic, but because I noticed like when we walked in here, there was nothing like special. Like we've interviewed other artists where like we walk in and they have a rider and there's like a fucking thing of balloons and like a specific chip and like chocolate bars. Like you really, I don't know, you got like it was nothing. Like it was just like
Yeah.
super chill. Like I just feel
Yeah.
like I'm talking to my boy right now.
Hell yeah.
Do you have anything crazy like on a rider? Anything that like you like to keep around you? Anything like that the people don't know about? That's like a little bit of a back end thing.
I like chicken sandwiches.
Okay.
Slice of chicken sandwiches. I had Popeyes before I came on here, and
There you go.
and honestly, I think the Popeyes might be better in Canada.
Canada?
I don't even
For
know if
real?
like I'm just tripping.
You might be tripping, bro.
Is Chick-fil-A okay? But Chick-fil-A better?
I haven't had Chick-fil-A yet. I just in Canada.
No. I'm saying in like in
then
America.
Popeyes.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
Whoa.
Nah.
Whoa.
Okay.
I think Popeyes
That's
is
a-
better.
I think it's
That's
like
a
what you're
first.
used to. I think
That's
it's
a
based on what
first.
you're used to. Because like we
Yeah.
go to the States for like, yo, the food here is so much better.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know. Maybe we're tripping.
Yeah,
So
this could be different.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's first? The first question actually I have is, do you think you'd be here if the pandemic didn't happen?
No,
Wow.
absolutely not. I would have went to Washington State University. I would have probably just I don't think so.
Damn.
I do not think so.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
To think
I've
that.
a lot of people have
No, a
said
lot of
that.
people have said that. Yeah.
The show wouldn't be here.
That's
the,
true.
The show was birthed during the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
And everything that happened. So
That's true.
a lot of
Okay.
people say that. It's funny. Obviously, tons of majority negatives from it, but I feel like there was a certain, I guess, group of people that found a way to bring positives out of it
Mhm.
in a way, right?
Absolutely.
That's crazy. But to say that you wouldn't be here is insane.
Yeah, I
That's-
really don't think so.
Wow.
Did you have like a before the pandemic? Where was your life headed? Where were you going? Like, what was your
I was probably
career
gonna be
looking like or anything?
partying every day at Washington State, going crazy.
Damn.
Okay.
But I think the pandemic just gave me that time
Yeah.
to like be like my life. I mean, going like graduating high school, going into the world is like a big transitional
Huge.
point.
Yep.
I think that mine was like interrupted right there, and it gave me that time. Like, do I really want to do this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't. I want to make songs for the rest of my life.
It's those moments of like literally in your room, all this craziness happening in the world, and it's just like sort of silent. It's just you with yourself.
Yeah.
And how many times did we really get that before?
Absolutely.
Like never, right?
It's crazy because there's probably so many people that had that thought, like, oh, I could change right now. I could do something right now, and they just didn't. It's like you were maybe very close to just saying, we'll start tomorrow.
Yeah,
You know, like it's just crazy how life works.
for real.
On a Friday, the brand. When you talk about the future vision,
Yeah.
what does that entail? Like, what are you looking to make it? More just merch, vlogs, or is it actually looking like some sort of company of some sort in the music
Yeah.
industry?
Yeah, I want to start a label one day.
Dope.
Absolutely. I mean, anything we can really take it.
Mm-hmm.
On a Friday, seltzers. On a Friday, this. On a Friday, events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything really.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Well,
the
but-
world is yours, buddy. Like you got
Yeah.
it.
Before we get to our famous question, I got
Yeah.
one more question for you. If there's any artist you could work with, who would it be?
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Legend. She's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
I don't think
So-
no one's ever said Rihanna.
No,
Yeah.
not to us. No. I hear
Yeah.
that.
Well, we're
Yeah.
manifesting that with you, bro.
Yeah, man, we'll
Sure, guys.
manifest it
That
for you,
would
bro.
be really
Hopefully we
crazy.
can bring this clip back when you make a track
For
with
real.
her.
That'd be
Yeah.
lit.
And now we got our famous question, okay? We are
Okay.
the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness.
Yep.
Do you believe money buys happiness?
No.
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 Okay.
Absolutely not.
Give us a little why not?
I think that, I don't know. I think that no matter how much has changed in my life and what's happened, I think that the things that continue to make me happy are still the same things that made me happy before. Which are like my friends, having like genuine conversations and experiences with people. Like I feel like those will always be the things that make me truly happy.
Yeah.
You know?
I respect
Damn.
that.
I
Yeah.
like
Just
that.
the money little sprinkle on top is a little cherry on top.
Yeah, it
Just a
makes it
little
easier to
extra.
have fun.
DR, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need some money.
Yeah.
Facts. And other than that, we're good.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed by you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you,
Straight
guys.
up.
Yeah, for
Thank
real.
you.
Bro, appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no, this has been fucking great. I
You
think
got
a lot
some
of
new
people are gonna-
fans now, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yes.
be bumping your
Yeah.
shit in
I think
Toronto.
people are going to take a lot of value from this. So once again, welcome to
Awesome.
Toronto. Hope you have a great time here, man.
Thank you guys.
And on that note, we are out.